I never thought I'd be telling this story, but here I am. Everything changed 2 weeks ago when my suspicions about my wife turned out to be true. We'd been together for 8 years, married for 5 of those years. When we first met in Vancouver, she was a single mom with a 4-year-old boy. I was 22, she was 23, and despite being young, I knew I wanted to be part of their lives. That little boy became my son in every way that matters. I'd noticed some changes in her behavior recently, nothing major, just small things that didn't add up. When I tried talking to her about it, she'd get defensive and angry, asking how I could even think such things. After finding nothing on her phone or computer, I decided to set up some small cameras around the house before going to visit my college friend in Seattle. I came home early, knowing she'd be out, and checked the footage. There she was, with James, a coworker we often had dinner with. James and his wife had been to our house many times. I thought we were friends. I lost control in a way I never had before. I'm usually calm and level-headed, but something snapped. I punched walls, broke furniture, and somehow managed to hurt myself in the process. When I saw what I'd done to our living room, I knew I had to leave before she came home. I couldn't trust myself to face her. I quickly packed some essentials and my work laptop. I'm a software developer and need my setup for work. I sent the video to James's wife without any message except, "Your husband is cheating with my wife." As I was leaving our apartment building, I ran into my son. I hugged him and told him I loved him, but I had to leave because his mom had been unfaithful. I regret telling him that a 15-year-old shouldn't have to deal with adult problems, but I wasn't thinking straight. I drove to a cheap motel near the border, planning to visit my family in British Columbia, but couldn't cross due to travel restrictions. I've been working remotely, feeling like a ghost. The only person I respond to is my son. He keeps asking questions, and I try to be honest while keeping things age-appropriate. I just tell him I don't know what's going to happen next, except that there will be a divorce. I've gotten hundreds of messages from my wife and her family, but I haven't answered any of them. Only my parents know what's happening on my side. I can't talk to our friends because they're mutual friends, and I don't want to put them in an awkward position. I feel incredibly alone. I know I need to respond to my wife eventually, but I'm still too angry to trust myself to be rational. I found a local gym that offers boxing classes. The owner, an older guy everyone calls Coach, took one look at me and seemed to understand exactly what I needed. The first day, they made me work out until I could barely stand, then put me in the ring with one of their experienced fighters. The guy clearly went easy on me. I have zero fighting experience and am not in great shape. He let me throw punches and kicks, blocking most of them easily. When I did manage to land a hit, he'd give me a light tap back, always checking if I was okay. These fighters, who could easily hurt someone, turned out to be the most peaceful people I've met. It helped take the edge off my anger. I'm using my cousin as a go-between with my wife for now. I can't afford a lawyer, so I'm trying to handle things carefully. Some people suggested I use my son as leverage for reconciliation, but I would never do that. He's not a bargaining chip. If he wants me to adopt him legally someday, that's his choice to make when he's ready, without any pressure from anyone. I thought I had everything figured out, just get divorced and move on. But then I got a call from my son that changed everything. My son called me back 20 minutes after our usual evening chat. He was crying, saying he'd lied about everything being okay at home. My wife had been sitting motionless in front of the TV for days. He hadn't eaten properly in 3 days except for some sandwiches his friend's mom made for him. I rushed home immediately. The smell hit me before I even opened the door. Rotting garbage and worse. The apartment was a disaster. Papers were scattered everywhere, dishes piled in the sink, broken glass on the floor. I'd brought my son a pizza, told him to eat in his room while I checked on his mom. My wife looked terrible. She'd lost so much weight that her clothes hung off her. Her hair was unwashed, her skin pale, and there was a bucket next to her that I didn't want to look at too closely. For a moment, seeing her like this made me forget everything she'd done. She asked if I was real, then started crying so hard she passed out. I checked her pulse using my fitness tracker. It was all over the place. I asked our neighbor to watch my son while I took her to the hospital. She's been there for a week now. The one time I visited, she got so upset that doctors asked me not to come back yet. They still don't have a clear diagnosis. I've been focusing on my son. He's seeing a counselor, and I can see small improvements. We spent days cleaning the apartment. I had to buy a new fridge because the old one couldn't be saved. While cleaning, I found something strange. She'd made a body shape in our bed using my dirty clothes, complete with details that made it look like a person. It was disturbing. There were papers everywhere with her writing. Most of it made no sense, just dates, times, and pages full of the word sorry written over and over. Many pages started with normal writing, but ended in squiggly lines. My anger is gone now. I just feel sad. Sad for my son who's been traumatized. Sad for my wife who's clearly not well, and sad for myself. Being a good husband and father was a huge part of who I was. Now I'm trying to figure out who I am without that first part. A few days ago, my wife's mother gave me a letter 32 pages long. In it, my wife confessed everything. She admitted to having an online emotional affair for 2 months before anything physical happened with James. She gave me all her passwords and pointed me to a diary she kept for years. Reading through everything, a pattern emerged. She'd gotten caught up in the attention from James, who looked like a model and was married to someone who could have been on magazine covers. The physical part only started when he began losing interest, like she was using it to keep his attention. Her diary showed she didn't even enjoy it. It was just a tool to keep him interested. She wrote that she doesn't recognize herself anymore, doesn't understand how she could hurt us like this. She's moving in with her mother after leaving the hospital and won't contact me unless I ask. She wrote that she hopes I find someone worthy of my trust and love, and that she'll stay single because she's not safe to be with. I've been watching the videos again, both of her affair and of my breakdown. I know it's hurting me, but I can't stop. My counselor says this is common with trauma, but knowing that doesn't make it easier to stop. Now I'm trying to understand how someone could get pulled into an affair like this, almost compulsively. Reading her diary, I can see she changed after her sister died 3 years ago. Her writing became darker, more hopeless. The affair seems like it was more about feeling good about herself than about James. She never mentions loving him, just the rush from his attention. I found out James has been cheating on his wife their entire marriage. His wife called me, even suggested we have a revenge affair. She's beautiful but honestly unbearable to be around. I declined and decided to never see her again. I still don't know what to do. I can't sleep, can't think straight. But I know I need to figure this out, not just for me, but for my son who needs both his parents to be okay. I've been trying to see my wife at the hospital, but she still refuses visitors except for her mother. I reminded her mother about the promise in her letter, that she'd do anything if I thought it would help. I asked to meet with her doctor together, hoping to understand what's happening, but they won't tell me anything without her consent. The doctors diagnosed me with PTSD. My wife has severe depression and bipolar disorder. They're trying different medications to balance her brain chemistry. Looking back, she was vulnerable when James came along. He turned out to be a serial cheater. His wife contacted the husbands of several other women he'd been with. From what I heard, some of those husbands caught up with him. He didn't end up in the hospital, but he got roughed up pretty good. My friend Mike stays with me most days, keeping me focused. I'm taking my son camping this weekend. We've been going to the gym together, and it's brought us closer than ever. He's scared I'll leave again. Those 2 weeks I was gone really affected him. He begs me not to leave, and I won't. Even if his mom and I end up divorcing, I'm not going anywhere without him. I finally deleted both videos. They were just feeding my pain, playing on repeat in my head. But even without them, I'm torn about what to do. Part of me wants to run, start fresh with someone new. But then I think, what if I can't trust anyone again? What if these images keep playing in my head no matter who I'm with? And dating at my age? Most single women I know are either divorced with their own baggage or desperately wanting kids. The thought of trying to explain my story to strangers makes me tired. My wife is the only person who's ever truly understood me. It took years to build that understanding. Could I find that again? How long would it take? And there's no guarantee someone new wouldn't cheat too. Honestly, given everything that's happened, my wife might be less likely to cheat than someone new. My son needs both his parents healthy. If I divorce her now, will she ever recover enough to be a good mother? Even if we divorce, I'll still have these scars. At least with her, I won't have to explain why I sometimes get quiet or angry out of nowhere. She'll know why. From what I've learned, people who rush into divorce often struggle more with healing. The best outcomes seem to happen when both people work on healing together, even if it takes years. But is my wife capable of that work right now? I don't know. I can't pretend I don't still love her. My pride wants me to hate her, but I can't lie to myself. The love is still there, even though it's mixed with hurt and anger now. Those first weeks, I wanted her to hurt like I was hurting. Now I just want everyone to heal. If we try to reconcile, it won't be easy. She'll need to earn back trust, and I'll need to learn to give it. I'll be watching everything she does, and that's not healthy for either of us. But what choice do I have? I need to protect myself and my son. I haven't decided anything yet. If we do try again, it won't be a simple forgive and forget. We both need to commit completely to rebuilding. But first, I need to talk to her. The doctors say she's starting to stabilize on her new medications. Maybe soon she'll agree to see me. For now, I'm focusing on my son and myself. The gym helps. My counselor helps. Mike helps. I'm learning that it's okay not to have all the answers right now. Whatever I decide, I know it needs to be right for all of us. Me, my son, and yes, even my wife. The road ahead will be hard either way. I just hope I have the strength to walk it, wherever it leads. My son asked me yesterday if we'll ever be a normal family again. I told him the truth, I don't know. But I promised him we'd figure it out together. That's all I can do right now. Take it one day at a time and try to make the best decisions I can with what I know. It's not much, but it's a start. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family who might enjoy it too. Your support means a lot. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or story ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.